Welcome, race fans, to another episode of Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. Alongside Jonathan Logue over here, we have Josh Reynolds. I'm Cody Malakote, and we're on episode 7 of our podcast.
Seven.
7.
Okay, 7.
Yeah, Jonathan's got to do the hand signal.
I'm not doing it because it means nothing.
Yeah,
It does mean nothing. You're right.
yeah.
It does.
But like we said here, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and extremely grateful to have those guys come on board. After the first couple episodes, Jed reached out to, I think, both Jonathan and I and said, boys, I want to get involved with this. So now we have Central Iowa Diesel Performance involved with our show, as well as Elmquist Towing and Wehrs Machine. So pretty cool to get that stuff kind of rolling and help us move forward.
You know, always great partners. Those three names there involved with racing, been involved with racing for a long time. You know, Jed was is a veteran. Served our country, came back here and started an empire with Central Iowa Diesel Performance. You know, anything diesel related, they're sharp over there. Look them up, check them out. Great guy. Right there by the old Western Edge. You can go there, you can drop your truck off at Central Iowa Diesel Performance, go across the street, pick up a pair of cowboy boots, if needed, at the old Western Edge there. Jake Elmquist, if your truck breaks down after that, I mean, he's just right across the other side of the street there on Highway 30.
Yep, he'll get you taken care of.
And Jake, like you said, Jake's been a big supporter of Boone Speedway for a long time, and he helps us out with our 4th of July stuff and with the Salute to Veterans stuff, and just been an awesome supporter of our deal for a long time.
His display that he puts up out here when he's got the tow trucks out and he's got the tow trucks picked up in the air, I mean, that is cool.
I was just gonna talk about that. Like, if you don't make it out here, they have Elmquist Towing Sport Mods. He's the title sponsor for the Sport Mods here at the Boone Speedway. Brings all of his units out here, or not all of them, but a majority of them.
It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them, yeah. And he's got them all set up, and his whole gang. I mean, them guys are savage. I mean, they do insane stuff all over the state of Iowa. Jake used to be a racer here at the Boone Speedway back in the day. I always used to remember him as he used to run Ford motors. And he had this motor that just smoked all the time, but it ran like a bastard, And so that was my first meeting of Jake Elmquist. And when he was, I think he was working at Butch's, or maybe bought into Butch's or something along the lines of that. But now he's got 2 kids, Jocelyn Elmquist, the 18 Sport Mod, now Jackson. Jackson, 14-year-old kid getting his feet wet. And he's a diehard race fan, man. I mean, he goes to all these racetracks, supports a lot of the racetracks, and I think he's a huge part of the Boone Speedway here.
Yeah, Jocelyn, a feature winner here. She's won here, I think, at Stewart one night.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a little room to go.
Absolutely.
And they know that. But she is good. She can wheel a car.
You can see, you've seen her transition over, and I think that that's what's going to be cool about Jackson is he was kind of timid, not real sure if he was maybe even wanting to do the racing thing. And Jake, I mean, I don't think Jake really gave a shit whether he did or didn't. I mean, I think that he wanted him to.
Right.
But you can see even in the last year, he started at the back. Jackson started at the back, and it's been a humbling learning curve for him. But I also see, over the course of the year that he gained ground, and he actually, there were times where he would be able to, hang and pass a few cars and have a decent run for what he was trying to do as far as a 14-year-old kid. That's a tough thing.
Well, and for him too, right? Like, he ran a little bit of mini mod stuff, but not, some of these younger kids you see, they start out in go-karts when they're 5 years old. So they have thousands of laps just in something, right? Where I think Jackson had a few laps in that mini mod deal and then started racing sport mods. So I mean, like you said, it's seat time for sure is going to be
it's
good for,
savage on the racetrack.
Right.
Whether no matter what class you're in. So to throw somebody in there that don't have, a lot of experience and expect a ton, people get angry with the beginner drivers that are, been in the class for a while or whatever you want to call it, because they're, sometimes they cause a wreck, and there's been a few times that Jackson has overshot the corner and taken himself out. Not only taken himself out, but, collected another car. That's not the end game for that kid. I mean, he's a very nice young man, and I am excited that to see his progression over this last year was, I mean, if you haven't seen it and weren't here to witness it, you would think, holy moly, know.
Yeah. And that being said too, so that gets my interest up when I do see somebody come in that doesn't have a lot of laps that does really good.
Right.
That gets my attention real fast. And you see a kid come in and has the patience to do what you need to do for 18, 20 laps, whatever it is. And Jackson, yeah, like you said, you can just kind of see the growth in him. And also a little bit of maturity, knowing, I need to start at the back, but he always wants to draw.
Right.
And he tries to beat Jocelyn in the draw every time,
Right.
which is fun.
That is a respectable thing, in my opinion. Instead of getting on the internet and complaining about, catching not just Jackson, a lot of other drivers, I'm using Jackson here as an example just because he's a 14-year-old kid. A lot of people don't remember that. He's out there racing with some 40, 50, 30, 25-year-old guys that are a lot further ahead in what's conspiring, in my opinion. But that happens all over the place. It doesn't just happen here. So to see those young drivers come into the sport, first of all, because there's not a lot of young people.
We need them.
We need those young people.
Absolutely.
Like I love the Outlaw Mini Mod deal that Cody brought up. I mean, just because there's like 10 or is it 10 or 11 age limit on that? Or it might even not be.
I think it's 12.
Is it 12?
Yeah, I think so. But still, getting a 12-year-old kid involved in racing and something that's a little bit bigger car, like that's the kind of stuff we need. I wish, honestly, and I've talked to Lottie about this. I'm like, we need to find some sort of a way to have a feeder program that's close to Boone Speedway, that is run efficiently.
Well, didn't you guys have plans to put a track out back, Boone 2? I mean, wasn't that a thing?
I had heard that.
Oh, I mean, I didn't know that wasn't a thing. So maybe that's where you guys were going with that.
Well, to that point, like, we didn't have serious conversations, but I had told him, I'm like, man, we need to build something out in that south field that, like, on Sunday afternoons we could go run go-karts and have like a 2 or 3 hour show. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest downfall with like the go-kart racing, in my opinion, like, and why I haven't gotten my kids into it is like, I see guys that go do this. I mean, but then you put it in perspective. It's like anything. But like, I just don't want to be racing all day on a Sunday, and it'd be cool to go have somewhere you could go run a 2 or 3 hour show with 4 or 5 classes.
But see, it's almost like a double-edged sword,
right?
Because if you build something, if you build it, they will come,
right?
So it's like same deal. Like, I know Justin O'Brien and Gavin, they travel a lot of places and race the go-kart, and like they're traveling to Nebraska, and I mean, it's no different than the wrestling thing.
Oh, well, and that's where I said it's perspective, because I sit here and complain about
right.
racing taking all day long, and I was up at Cedar Falls, hour and 45 minutes away from home, and we sat for 2.5 hours before Kellen even had his first match, and then I think we showed up at 7:30 to weigh in, and I think I got home at 5 o'clock or 5:15. So it is perspective, I guess. So,
yep.
I mean, it happens with everything. So, like I said,
good parents make great sacrifices for their kids.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's, Your parents always say, "Oh, I'm trying to give you better than what my parents gave me." Well, nowadays that's pretty tough.
It's hard.
Right.
Because, well, parents, I mean, it's, I don't know, just the new thing. Like, I don't know.
Well, there's just so many things for the kids to do now. And,
Oh, right.
you know, like we have, you know, looking at, well, trying to find time to schedule, you know, us to come record these things. It's like, all right, your kids are in stuff. My kids are in stuff. Josh's youngest son is in all kinds of stuff too. So like, you know, balancing all that. But yeah, like you said, you try to do your best, right? And that's what I always tell my kids, like, I'm trying to give you as many opportunities as possible to do this. And there's so many things they can do.
Well, shit, I tell
do.
my dad all the time, and my mom, and my stepdad even, like, I'm sorry, and I love you guys. Like, because, man, I mean, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
What are you apologizing for?
Well, because
What do you want to know, Josh?
When Ivan calls me and tells me something and he's in trouble, and it's just like a deja vu in my head, but mine was probably worse. So I'm real thankful for that. But there's just, you know, my dad just chuckles all the time just because, you know, the situation that I'm in at the time, you know, and then I had my daughter in on top of that. And
Sure. I just want my kids to know, like, I messed up too, right?
Right.
And I'm probably going to screw myself here because they listen to this. But, you know, I screwed up too. And, you know, I've told all three of my boys is you're not defined by the mistakes you make. You're defined by how you come back from them. So if you make big ones, you know, make big strides to come back the other way and everything will be fine.
Which goes into the whole, hey guys, these young racers out there that are out there and coming into our sport, quit fucking with them.
Yeah.
Or bashing them down on social media, or you know, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Don't sit on the other side of the screen and say, oh, we all know I've done it. Every racer's done it.
Right.
You know, but the older I get, the more I kind of appreciate that, and having, you know, doing consulting stuff and building cars and having a chassis company, it really makes you appreciate seeing them have success. So really happy for the Elmquist family and what they're doing. And I know Jake's, I'm sure there's been some expensive nights for him, but and he works super freaking hard, him and his wife. So very, very thankful for the Elmquist family and what they do for Boone Speedway and many other racetracks.
And going back to that, you know, with one thing that we didn't have when we were younger and we were getting our ass chewed, or if you're racing or whatever and you're young, like, the kids now, they have social media or stuff attached to their hand all the time now. So if you have some guy that you looked up to, like, growing up, and you're racing against them now, and you see them or their fans or their crew guys, like, basically tearing you down, you're like, well, this isn't fun. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I looked up to this dude forever. Yeah. And now I can see that him and his fans or whatever, like, don't like me, and that just, you know, tears you down. And kids they're not built mentally, like, you know, like I said, it's just a different day and age, right? Like,
well, it's because you can't spank their ass.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, not that I got my ass spanked a lot when I was a kid or anything like that, but you had to toe the line. Like, and nowadays, in my opinion, is I got really lucky. My kids are very, very good, but it's like a lot of parents try to be their friend because they're in a divorced situation. So they try to be their kids' friend, and that's great. But when you cross the line, you cross the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got and my thing is that they are a child, you know. So you got to make them hold that. And I think that that's where part of the schools and stuff too have really gotten laxed because of parents being their kids' friend and not being an adult and agreeing with their superior that we pay and put those people in those schools to watch our kids and take care of them.
Yeah, and I've
You
run
know.
into that with coaching.
Well,
you
coaching,
know?
oh yeah, I couldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, I could, but it'd be tough. So I envy you for that, which is, it's cool that you do that with, you know, where we went to school and stuff. Like it's a big thing. So
Yeah, we started our first week like last week or something. So we're about a week and a half in for our middle school season, and yeah, it's some of the stuff is like, all right, guys, we got to like pick this up, but you don't want to push them too hard, or you don't, it's you toe a line sometimes because you're like, oh, mom and dad are gonna call because they're gonna be pissed off, but going back with like the racing thing, I've seen parents in the middle of the kids stuff, and I get it though, like if your kid was racing and something happened and some guy's pissed off, you're going to want to defend them. But like you said, at the end of the day, they have to learn how to toe the line. Obviously, you're not going to throw your 15-year-old kid out there to get clotheslined by some dude.
Well,
but
that goes into
a little accountability.
That goes into a really, I agree with you 100%. As a racer, if you're a new racer coming in, or if I go to a different track or race with somebody that I don't necessarily race with on a weekly deal, I always look at it as like, I'm going to race them how I want to be raced. And I think a lot of people are like that. But I also think that the racing has turned into, it's a different time of racing. Like the sliders are different than what they used to be back in the day. Like Jimmy Gustin says it all the time, I don't know how to throw a slider. I'm like, dude, yes, you do know how to throw a freaking slider. Come on. But it's a different.
There's levels of sliders now where they didn't used to be.
Right.
You used to just wheel it in there.
Right.
Now
Like when you bomb one or when you're this or that, like all that terminology, that never was a thing.
No.
So I think that a lot of people, I'm going to race you how you race me. Cody brought this up on the old Facebooks, made this little post about, taking somebody out, and it just brought back a lot of cool things. Like think about how many stories out there that people have, or that, and I think that sometimes that's good for racing. Mm-hmm. A little bit of storyline stuff. Yes.
Yeah. I think we're going to tell a couple of those stories in here.
That's great. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, so I think nowadays, when you see an old racer, that was a good thing, like to go and race with them, and you see how back in the day you never seen that. So you were still there. You were their fan. Mm-hmm. Nowadays I think that the social media has hurt that a little bit because of so much constructive criticism, whether, or whatever you want to call it, is directed at certain teams.
Right.
Yep. Consequences, right?
Yeah, but it's almost worse now.
Right. But it used to be the consequence back in the day was a fist.
Right.
And then it went from, okay, talking to. Now it's social media and people getting bashed and losing sponsors and saying the wrong things. And it's just like the levels change, but there's always consequences. It's just how they kind of get divvied out.
Right. And it's like the drivers meeting. I've had to have the same drivers meeting a couple, once a year, the last 2 or 3 years. It's like, okay, guys, I'm going to give you the speech that I gave my 11-year-old baseball team. The actions have consequences on and off the racetrack, So
when you do the drivers meeting, I mean, is that a typed up thing, or is that just off the top of the melon?
That's off the top of the melon.
Is it?
Yeah.
There might be some things that we talk about before he goes down there, and I might try to egg him on and get him to say shit that he should.
Yeah, because most of the time it's like, I'm good. I'm like, I know what I'm going to say. And then I talk to Josh, and he's like, yeah, like,
get him.
Yeah. So then I'm just like fired up. There was one this year, and Logan got on the mic after I was done. He's like, okay, for once I'm not the asshole. So there you go.
For me to remember things, like something like that, like, you get off on one little thing. We just talked about it before the show here. But like, to hear you guys do that on a weekly basis, and then to actually listen to Brett come in and do the Super Nationals thing, and I don't know how he does that.
I think he says it in the shower.
Seriously.
No, he does. He sounds like he has said it many times because he's very fluid.
Right. This year's favorite Super Nationals comment is punch them in the face,
Uh-huh.
beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Find somebody stealing or messing in your pit area.
Right,
Yep.
right. So,
Yep.
so I was just curious, like, is there an itinerary that you guys have? Do you guys have a little meeting, or do you guys talk on the secret channel during the weekly show and get that information, or
Maybe a little bit. We might make some notes during the race night.
So there is a secret channel we've confirmed during Super Nationals and now weekly. You guys just confirmed that there was a weekly secret channel, because Grant made it seem like it was more of a Super Nationals thing because there's double the amount of employees.
Well, and
active.
I think when Grant was here weekly, there was, the secret channel was the same one that's at Super Nationals, but since Grant's been gone, it's just kind of been Logan flying solo up top.
If you see Logan,
flag stand.
if you see him talking and nobody's paying attention, he's just talking to himself. He's just hitting the button. He doesn't actually have a radio hooked up to it.
Sometimes he hits the button and we hear some shit.
We see Velvet Lips. We see Velvet Lips do that in Marshalltown sometime too. He's just screaming, but he's actually doing it to himself. So
Yeah, that's true. Well, should we go to our first break, and then when we come back, we can talk about some of the improvements that are being made, and little black gold being put on the racetrack, and then we'll get to that the Facebook post that has everybody fired up. So right now we will go to our first break on Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. We'll throw it over to Wehrs Machine and Central Iowa Diesel Performance. When we come back, we'll talk about what's going on here at the Boone Speedway.
When you go green, precision matters, and that's why you choose Wehrs Machine. From suspension components, tools, and data technology, we've changed the game for race teams around the world. Our ultra-force load machines are revolutionizing how teams collect and analyze data, while our Circle Track app provides a data storage notebook, giving you the edge on every turn. We're not here to follow the pack, we're here to lead it. American-made, race-tested, Wehrs Machine.
Central Iowa Diesel Performance is a full-service preventative maintenance and truck repair center in Ames, Iowa. While they specialize in high-performance applications, they can do fleet repair, engine maintenance, transmission repair, or things such as brakes and electrical. Anything diesel truck related, Central Iowa Diesel Performance is your go-to shop. Check them out at www.centraliowadieselperformance.com.
Welcome back, race fans, from the break. Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. And we hear some trucks going back and forth, Bobcat, out here. And, man, we've been talking about this, obviously, most of it off air, and we got a little black gold being added over here.
yeah, little breaking news.
Yeah. John Logue, my dad doing John Logue things. I don't know where he does or how he finds it or what he has going on, but he's got this little pile somewhere that he keeps getting it out of, and I'm very, very thankful. And I think that, the last time that this place had a ton of dirt was when they built the Walmart, which was about 13 years ago. We were talking about that before the show here, and people don't realize how much dirt you throw off that racetrack every year, and or what it costs to bring it here. I mean, it's a ton of money.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So and especially at the end of the year, and everybody talks about, oh man, they're making this killing at Super Nationals and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, well, you get a $50,000-$60,000 dirt bill at the end of the year if you haul it in, or if like we seen the post of Mike Van Genderen at Stewart, scraped around the whole racetrack, and it's hard to tell. He must have been listening or something.
I guess he was.
It's hard to tell on the video of what the racetrack actually looks like. No different here at the Boone Speedway, but last year hauled in 50 loads. And then we talk about the notorious wood chip adding, so it equals up to about 100 loads of dirt here, and so I know the guys have been working their butts off, putting a lot of the dirt that we threw off at Super Nationals, scraping some other stuff around the grounds. We talked about the wall or what's going to conspire over there in turn one with the pillars. So super excited. The trucks have been hauling loads in here the last couple days.
Yeah, 25 yesterday, and just keep on going.
Yeah, I think there'll be another 25 or so. There could be more. I have no idea what it could be. Dad, you never know what the old 5 times got up his sleeve.
Well, and you talk about how much dirt we lose, and the last, you mentioned it before, like it was 2011, 2012 when that Walmart was built over there, and you and I we've talked about it several times, but when that fresh black dirt got put on here, that was the best this place has been in, like that I can remember. Like in our time for sure. Yeah, I vividly remember it being like every single week racing was fantastic, at least for weekly stuff, after that dirt was put on, and you can look at, we've talked about it 100 times, but you can look at the GPS coordinates and stuff,
it's crazy.
and you can see how much shorter the racetrack is, and compared to what it was, 13 years ago. So that stuff does move. Not, I don't know if there's other factors that contribute to that, like, the grooving. I would think, like, everybody can groove their tires now. I don't know if that makes difference, but I think that it would.
Well, I mean, the amount of dirt that people take home with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what, we can't really, I've just simple math, there's 24 nights in a season. If you get all 20, that's typically a season there. 1 inch of dirt a night. That's 2 foot of racetrack, and it's probably triple that. You think about how much dirt we actually throw off of it right after a fresh farm.
Yeah.
Because it's all loose.
Right.
I know it's compacted, but you still lose all that. And then plus what you take off the racetrack on your race car and take it to your pit area, or at the end of the night. I know a lot of the stock cars and hobby stock guys, everybody tries to do really good about, we don't want that extra weight being distributed and with what everybody's doing with their setups now, but you just can't do that. Now, there are other places you go to, and it's, down south and in Nebraska and even North Dakota and Minnesota and stuff, you don't get that. But it just seems like the black dirt racetracks are more of a gumbo, sticky kind of dirt. Even at Marshtown, you don't see, we get some, but you don't see it as much as what I feel like we do here at Boone.
How much do you, vacuum out of your car? How much do you get out of your car at the shop, after a Saturday night?
I've never put a scale on it, but it's probably
5-gallon bucket.
It's probably 6-7 pounds.
Of course it is.
Right in that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then there could be a 20 or 30 pounds in the right rear tailpiece.
Take that times 1,000 cars at Super Nationals.
Well, right. Which at Super Nationals, it's a lot tougher. I feel like you see that a lot less.
Out. Yeah, because the thing's wore out. It's hard.
Right. It's just, shit.
But even if you cut that in half or a third, that's a lot of dirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It adds up.
Well, then you look at the track packers, when they come off the racetrack, they're carrying a ton of freaking dirt that just flops up on there.
And that's one thing you see Hank doing at the end of the night. He's driving those packers to the top of the racetrack, parking them, and he's using a shovel or whatever else to get all that stuff down, scrape it off, because they do collect so much stuff.
Well, and here's the other thing. When it rained this year at the Super Nationals, and it was a soppy mess, how much dirt they moved off of the racetrack just to try to get it's what they got to do.
Right.
But now, granted, they do.
The old street sweeper out there.
Holy moly.
Did you see that?
Oh, man.
Hank had the street sweeper.
That thing was awesome.
For the pit stalls.
Do you know how many tracks around the United States picked one up in the next 24 hours after they saw it?
Seriously.
We were sitting down at the bottom, and Rod goes, "Hank, you want to get the sweeper out?" And he's like, I can try. And then I didn't know what he was talking about at the time. And then here he comes with the little sweeper that he uses to clean off the pit slabs. And
it
sure
worked.
Shit, man, it worked. It pushed all that water off to the infield.
Well, yeah, you just got to think. It's just a matter of moving moving the water, that's mainly the jet dryer. I feel like, it doesn't dry the racetrack. It just blows all the shit out of the sheep's foot holes, Right. So Rod and the gang can get out there and get that baby worked in. But, it's just a ton of dirt that every racetrack loses. And I don't, they got to bring it back on. And I think that the last couple of years, IMCA, Kathy, and Lottie have been a lot better about bringing in some dirt. And I think that the right people are starting to notice and realize, hey, like, this has been a long time coming, and it sucks right now, but we're going to do it. And I think a lot of racers appreciate the shit out of that. I do, because I race here every week.
Right. Yep. One, yeah. To get that to happen has been a long process.
Well, and you got to find it.
The amount of conversations that I had with Lottie about doing this, I'm like, hey, we need dirt. No, there's plenty of dirt. I'm like, no, we need dirt.
You know how many times I was told there's enough dirt here to outlast your lifetime? And I'm like, I'm 37 and it needs dirt the last few years.
Right.
And for some, I think my dad kind of okey-doked Lottie a little bit and was just like, I'm bringing dirt out. Where do you want it? And Lottie's like, call Rod. Yeah. See where he wants it. My dad and Lottie have a great relationship. So I think that, my dad... I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think my dad hounded him and given him a hard time.
That 100% happened.
Yeah,
it did.
Lottie always talks about the whole. We talked about this. Lottie's a very, very great person, and if he really likes you, you won't see that out of him in public or at the racetrack. Because he doesn't want to be vulnerable. And so I appreciate the fact, Dad, for you pushing to make that happen. My dad's here every week too. He loves this place just as much as all of us do. So
yep.
Yeah, but yeah, now you okey doked him.
I think he did. I think that's what he did. You know what I mean?
It 100% happened.
So then Rod, I think Rod and my dad had this little thing going on or something. I don't know, but then all of a sudden dirt started showing up.
Right. Well, hey, however it went down, it's a good thing because, like you said, you start doing the actual science or whatever you want to call it behind that. Like, you got to have dirt to keep your product top tier.
Yeah.
That's our product. Our number one product is the racetrack, to make sure that cars are passing and putting on a show and whatever. So, however it worked out, it's awesome because it just makes our product better, right? Yep. And then it just leads to different things and better things and more views on social media and whatever, more subscriptions. Yeah,
right.
Podcast,
right?
Stories about, taking people out.
Okay. Yep. Now we're going to get into that. So here's this. Josh and I had a conversation, and I'm like, hey, have you ever taken anybody out on purpose? And I'm like, we need to think of something to talk about on the show. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to put that out on the Facebook page. And boy, did it take off.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of people have taken people out on purpose. So, and it kind of spurred from a conversation that we had. Well, then Josh and I spent 45 minutes talking about all the stories that we've seen over the years of people wrecking the shit out of another guy on purpose or whatever. But I want you to start with yours, because this is how this spurred this whole conversation.
Well, and it did take place here at the Boone Speedway. It was my rookie year, and when I tell you my first car was a shit box, that was the definition of a shit box. Like, the rear frame was pushed down about a foot. I didn't fix anything. Like, I didn't even know how to set toe till probably my start of my second year. But I'm up here. I had no business being here weekly, but I got here, and my point average was somewhat terrible. So I was always starting at the front. And
was it always that bad, or was it a little bit better after you claimed?
It was a little bit better after I claimed, to be honest with you. All right. It was. It did.
Should have gave up 20.
It got better.
Son of a bitch.
I would have if I'd have run in the top 4 that much, but I didn't. So anyway, I find myself leading a heat race, and back in the olden times, hobby stock heat races were 6 laps long, and the features were 12, and that was an eternity. Because So anyway, I find myself leading a heat race like after say 2 laps, and I don't know what to do with myself. For one, this is awesome, and I come out of turn 3, and we're going down the straightaway, and all of a sudden I'm facing backwards. I have no idea how the hell I'm there. I don't even know what happened. And car's dead. It wouldn't start. Pushed me to the pits. Well, all my buddies are like, 556. Terry Corneliuson. Remember him?
Yeah. The old Terry.
Terry. Turned me around right on the straightaway. No idea. I'm pissed, you know. So, and also in those days, hobbies ran their heat races first. So you had all damn night, and you knew where you were going to start. So we go down and look at the lineups. I'm starting right behind him in the feature. So I go back to the pit and I tell everybody, I'm taking his ass out. I'm spinning him out. I'm doing it.
Telephone tough guy.
It was on. It was on. I think I had the Hawkeye jersey on that night, so the guns were out, right?
All right.
Okay, so hobbies get ready to run. It rains. Son of a bitch. So we go home. All week long.
He's got a stew on it.
I got to think about this. And we don't have cell phones. We don't have none of that. So everybody I see.
You didn't think about writing him a letter? I mean, his address was on the IMCA page.
I probably could have.
Okay.
But I probably couldn't afford the stamp. So,
But he's going racing, bud.
I'm going racing. But, so, okay. So
Racing.
I was waiting tables at that time for a living. So I had to work hard because I had to come back the next week because I told everybody I'm going to take this guy out. So we talked about it all week. So we come back up here the next week. Double features were the first one on the track. We're making our pace laps. I look up in the catwalk and I see my buddy's got his hat in his hand. And he's going like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, here we go. I come out of 3. I'm watching the light flash. And as soon as it goes green, I turn left, mash the gas, and I never lifted and drove straight. Just dumped his ass right in 3 and 4. Keep going. We go green for a few laps. We got the yellow for something that came out, and I just drove her right to the pits because I didn't want to give him a chance to get me back. So, yeah.
We got a dirty GM over here at Boone Speedway, folks, and I tell you, Jim,
Yep.
that one came from the crow's nest.
It did. It did. That was my first experience. I had one other one, and it was at Stewart, and it was my second year. Do you remember the name Scott Anderson? He was from Mason City. He won Super Nationals as a 18-year-old. He was pretty young.
Really?
Yeah, so he came to Stewart. It had rained everywhere. He was running for national points the next year. And he came to Stewart on a Sunday and started at the back. And, man, he drove through the field. He doored me so hard going into 1 and 2, I thought I was going over the wall. Well, it messed up my front end. I should have just pulled to the pits. Anyway, I'm limping around, and here he comes again while he's lapping me. Well, he didn't make that lap. I just dove underneath him and hit the gas and turned him around. That son of a bitch went to the back and went by me again. This time he was so fast he about pulled my numbers off the door. I didn't see him. Drove up into the top 4. His trunk lid was swinging by 1 pin. He'd been pinballed all around this track. Gets third, I think, maybe second. Pulled in the infield. Well, they'd been black flagging him. So the 3 or 4 cars that pulled in to claim him after he passed the field 3 times were so pissed at me because I took this guy out and caused this whole mess. They were going to take his engine, carburetor, shocks, probably everything. But so he went home with all of his stuff, but he didn't finish well. So.
Yeah, it wasn't a good points night.
Yep. Those are my 2 stories. That's it. I didn't do it anymore.
The one that I remember the most, just from a crew perspective, my cousin Jason I think it might have been his first year in a stock car. And we had problems with the same guy, all the time. And
who? Just say it.
It was Don Viss.
Don Viss.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Don.
And that was I think it was Jason's first year in that class. And when you move up to a new class, people are trying to push you around, intimidate you, whatever.
Yep.
Well, we continued to have issues, and finally Jason was like, I can't take him out because I'll get black flagged. And I was probably...
And he's running for points.
I was probably 13 at the time. I was pretty young. I'm like, you won't get black flagged in hot laps. So, sure as shit, he follows him out.
Great advice.
Yeah. So he follows.
Are you guys listening to this shit? All right.
Hey, that was a long time ago. But, so he follows him out.
This is your administration at Boone Speedway,
Right.
by the way.
Yeah. And corporate up here, we're telling you how to do things. But follows him out. I don't remember if he ended up spinning him out or pushing him off the end or whatever. I think he just turned him in hot laps. You know, it was got the point across. And I'm hoping I'm not getting these stories mixed up because this happened a couple different times. But he like pulls up to, if I remember correctly, this is the one. He pulls up correctly or stops in front of the pit area. And one of the guys, I don't remember who it was, but one of Jason's crew guys had like the water cannon.
Oh, no.
He's standing back on the trailer, whoosh, unloads that thing and goes right through the window.
Oh, boy.
So,
That's pretty good.
It was, but that was the one that I can remember that was like blatantly obvious. Like had been set up to happen. Yeah, and it was, like I said, and it was in hot laps, so. Right.
Didn't get in trouble.
Right. And then, yeah, you know, I was giving my brother-in-law a hard time also on the Facebook post, but he had a good one where he monster trucked a guy, and it had something to do with a car owner or sponsor didn't pay a very large bill, and so they started next to each other on a restart, and that's all how she wrote. But there was somebody had posted about yours too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've had a few over the years. I've actually, the one that really stands out the most to me was me and Jared Baumeister, or Baumeister, or however the hell you say his name. No offense, Jared. I just don't know how you pronounce it. But we were like magnets at the Hancock County Speedway, and it was either for the Hobo 100 or Night of 10,000 Stars, or one of those big shows. It might even been the Sport Mod Summer Nationals, but it was one of the bigger shows up there. Now, this had happened multiple times. And he assholed me going into turn 3 and 4 pretty hard. And I mean, it like shoved me up out of the way. He got the lead, and my eyes went full red. And I had never done this, you know, racing ever in my career. And I got a run on him coming down out of turn 2, and I drove in there, and I mean, it took us both out. And I didn't give a shit because I was pissed. Mm-hmm. And then a couple weeks later, we go to the Harris Clash. He's leading it, and I'm throwing bombs. And it's clear up on the wall.
This is Knoxville.
No, this is at Deer Creek.
At Deer Creek. Okay.
Yeah, this is at Deer Creek.
Okay.
He's clear. I mean, he is on the highest point of the racetrack, and now there's a wall around there. And I'm kind of a bottom middle feeder, you know. Well, I mean, he just was so good up on the top of the racetrack. He's a great racer. I mean, he's just dirty. And I was dirty about it. Like, we just raced each other dirty. Mm-hmm. And we had a caution with 2 to go. And I'm like, I got one chance to do this. I'm not going to hit him, but I'm either going to make him break and turn down underneath of me, or he's eating concrete. Well, he didn't lift. I didn't lift. He ate concrete. I inherited the lead. They're on at the time I didn't know this. I'm like in the car going, holy shit. Like, you know, I believe it was the first year they had the Harris Clash at the Deer Creek. I could be wrong on that. Well, it was 2018.
Okay.
2018. It was the first.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit, you know, and like all of a sudden he comes up to me under the caution. We're rolling around on the caution. They're talking to him on the race receivers, and he crinkles my left rear quarter panel. They DQ him for it. And then Jake McBurney goes in and slide jobs me and wins the Harris Clash, and I run second. And
You didn't forget about that, did you?
no,
No.
I hadn't forgot about
sure
it.
didn't.
No. I'm glad you brought that. I hadn't forgot about it.
Bury it deep down inside and
But, you know-
never bring it up again.
Right. You come off the racetrack and it's like, man, we had such a good race going on. Like, I'm pretty sure Jake was running right there behind us, like in the mix, but not with me and Jared, and Jake ended up winning. He goes up on the stage. Well, I go to pull off the racetrack, because the tech area is on the outside of the racetrack there. Pull up on the scale, and guess who's backed into their pit stall? And I mean, he is mad, big mad. And I got my helmet on and everything, and go across the scales. Pretty much look out my window net, see him. Throw the bird, pull around into the tech area, and our friendship ain't been right since. And I'm okay with it.
Sealed
Off
the
the
deal.
racetrack, fuck, we get along great. On the racetrack, nope. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that. And one other time that I straight up teed off on somebody, we were at Stewart for the whole hog 50. And I have no idea who this guy is. We're out there racing, and he comes in and just drives down my whole left side of my race car. I'm in the final transfer spot. And the yellow comes out, and I'm like, well, guess what? You are not finishing the race. And Todd Vanny, I was driving for Todd Vanny at the time. And they're all standing up in turn 4, coming off turn 4 there. And I look up there, and they give me the, let's go.
Seen that before?
They didn't realize that I was taking this dude out.
Oh, yeah.
After they drop the green and we come through turn 1 and 2. I mean, I have never done this in my life, and I regret it because, but I let my emotions get the best of me in that situation. And we come off of turn 2, and that guy we're going down the backstretch, and I never even set my car. I never even nothing. And I drove in, ripped the hood, the nose, everything off, ripped his whole left rear off and everything. And I get down to my pit, and I'm down there wailing my arms around, pissed off. And the guy comes down, and it was no offense, I can't remember his name, but it was an old man. And, man, I felt terrible about it after that.
Really?
I don't know why, because it was just like, he roughed me up to get the spot and everything, and I took him out because he took me out, is how I looked at it, and we shook hands, and, we talked and came down and talked about it and everything, and I just was like, you know what, dude? I come down here. When I was racing for Todd, we raced Stewart, not on a weekly basis, but raced there more than what we do.
Pretty often.
Pretty often, yeah. So I was pissed. It's like, you know what, dude? You come here, and Todd and our whole gang of people, Buck and everybody, like, we're the ones that put that show on down there, and you race me like that? Mm-hmm. Like, because I think it was $500 to start or something. So it's good money to start, like, and that was his comment. It's like, man, and I'm like, I get it, but man, you just tore up $1,000 worth of shit between both of our race cars. Granted, that was mainly my fault because I teed off on him, but those are the two times. I mean,
that stuff, it gets in, not just your head, your heart sometimes. Like you put a lot into that, and a guy does that to you, and you feel like, I got to do something right now.
Right, and his deal wasn't intentional. Mine certainly was, and it was wrong. I shouldn't have done that, but I am passionate, and not that this isn't an excuse, but I mean, we've seen Ricky Thornton Jr. do it. We've seen Bobby Peart. We've seen, Tyler Erb, Max Blair at Eldora. I don't blame Tyler Erb 1 minute for that. And Tyler is an aggressive driver, and sometimes does some shit that he deserves to get his front end knocked off, and no offense, Tyler, if you ever listen to this, but, that shit happens.
Yeah.
And I think in the heat of the moment, we all react, and everybody reacts a little bit differently. And my end to that was we shook hands. There was, not like an apology. I mean, there was, but it wasn't like, it was more of like, hey, man, I apologize, but this is why I did what I did, et cetera. And we went on, and the next time we were on the racetrack together, we didn't touch each other.
Yep.
And that's how I look at it is race me how you want to be me to race you. Yeah, I mean, like this. I mean, if I could have got to Jeff Mueller this year when we slapped on the front stretch, I mean, that's my house car. I was taking that out. I'm just saying. Totally.
Yeah.
And Jeff's kind of been in the house car, the last couple seasons, and we've had some he took me out at Marshtown one night. And it's just a racing deal. Was I pissed about the Boone thing? Well, yeah, but his mom just passed away. Not that that's an excuse. He was just aggressive.
Oh yeah.
And I think about these days, bud. You remember Mr. Excitement?
Oh, yeah.
Action Jackson, Steve Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Consecutive. Him and old Larry Silball, boy, I tell you. The class too tough to tame, baby.
Yeah.
Back in them days, I mean, them guys were relentless.
Well, and Steve was so good at like, if you watch enough races with Steve, you could see like, it's almost like watching Ricky, because like when Ricky does it in a late model, he can make it look like an accident. Like,
right.
And that's how Steve was too. Like he was really good at using like a right rear quarter panel.
Oh, bud.
He could move you without you even realizing what he was doing.
Yes. Like he could get in there and use a right rear quarter panel versus like just going in and shit housing you.
Yep.
Well, but they were rubbing.
Oh yeah. Well, and when your cars are fast enough, and when I talk about this with a lot of guys, if your car is 0.2 slower than everybody else, that's when you're in the middle of the shit. But when you're that much faster than other people, you can kind of get away with that stuff more because you can like drive up on them and kind of move them out of the way, versus where if you're not faster than that other guy, you got to horn him, and then you can drive away from the shit too, right? So like you can kind of move a guy out of the way and get gone, and then it's not a big deal. And you can, when your car's faster, you can make it look like it's more of an accident than being intentional.
Yep. Steve Jackson, the only other 5-time Super National champ in one division. Okay. We do have Jeff Ike, who's an 8-time, but in multiple divisions. But
Shannon, I thought Shannon was 5. Is he not in the hobbies?
I don't think Shannon is a 5-time.
Maybe he's 4.
I think he's a 4.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because Jeff won it 3.
I think him and Shannon are both.
I think we both have the same amount of titles, which is really. I hang on to that because Jeff and Shannon were the first stock car hobby stock father duo, and I think they have 8 rings. And my dad and I are the first modified sport mod that carry 8 rings.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that. But we should. Whitney, she listens to the show. Whitney, get us some stats on that.
Get us some numbers, Whitney,
because that'd be cool. But
I think she commented on one of the.
She did.
One of the posts.
Talked about the 92B.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Shannon, watching that guy race, impressive. Same deal. Him and Andy Beckman.
Talk about rivalries, man.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That was the one thing we were talking about yesterday too. Off
Marshalltown.
there. Yeah.
But I'm saying Shannon would race you how you raced him. And if you really dirt roughed him up, he would go in and lay it right back on you.
Oh yeah. You're getting horns.
But that was, fairgrounds. You got the Killins, and you had there was some really bad mothers.
Oh yeah.
That Rubbin's racing, baby. And if you don't like it, we'll fist fight afterwards.
There was literally some bad mothers. The Killen's mom in the pits, you had to be kind of wondering what weapon she brought with her that week.
Toonies.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went down at that place back in the day.
But the Steve, back to the Steve Jackson and Larry Sobol thing, it's like Steve Jackson, one of the only guys I know that had like 15 different nicknames. I'd have to hit Toby Cruiser up on that because, but I know I named a few of them off when I started getting jacked up about it. But Steve is still racing.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is so cool to me. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, he had his crew chief on the backstretch, looked like Colton, but times 3 because his dip was way bigger, and it was in the right front, so it was like
doubled over.
Yeah, it looked like a couple peaches shoved in there. But I just thought it was so cool because they had signals.
Yeah.
And so when Steve was on the racetrack and I was in the pit area, I would be watching him because I'm like, man, I wonder what they're saying. Everybody's got hand signals, but what are they saying? What are they doing? What? There's been times where I'm sure you guys have seen me stand over in the little spot over there, and I'll be doing like baseball signs to just in the lineup area because people are watching what we're doing, So I'll just like fuck with them and do the whole baseball thing. And the one time
He's stealing second.
Yeah, well, one time the guy goes, "What were you saying?" I'm like, "Well, I was giving a signal there. One of my cars was in row 3, And I really didn't say anything. I didn't say shit. But people are watching what we're doing over there. Backstretch shit. You know what I mean?
We just got to get him a big ass wooden spoon, carry around stirring the shit.
But
I was lucky enough to race against Steve in the dirt trucks up at Webster City a couple times.
Did he kick your ass?
Well, he spun me out.
Yes.
He really did.
Yes.
He really did.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, he did. But when we actually got to go out and race each other, like in the feature, I sat behind him a lot of it, and I think I was able to.
Why didn't you move him?
Because dude, I was about half trembling being on the track with him at the same time. Like he was a star. Like,
yeah.
Because I remember when I was racing hobbies, like I'd go up and watch him. There wasn't anybody at this place, maybe 5-time, the original, that could run the bottom like Steve could.
Oh, yeah.
And just consistent lap after lap, an inch off the tires, sometimes above them. But he was so good on the bottom. And I would watch him and try to do that. I could never do it. But when I got to run against him in the truck, like I just followed him and kind of just watched him. And I pulled up alongside him once, and I remember thinking to myself, holy shit, I'm right next to Steve Jackson. And those trucks, to me, that was a fun deal that Tony let me do. But I got to experience some of that stuff, racing with him and Damon Murdy and some of those guys, they were stars. And they, like Damon still is. Steve, if he showed up here tomorrow, like what I would do if he showed up in a stock car again, like.
Well, let's go to another break here. This next segment, we can be in the home stretch here when we come back, talking about comments from some of our social media stuff. So we're going to take a quick break on watermelons and wood chips. This next segment is brought to you by Logue Fabrication, your go-to shop for custom metal fabrication. From residential and commercial projects to auto racing applications, Logue Fabrication delivers quality and precision every time. They're not just fabricators, they're racers too. Proud home to Rage Hobby Stock and Stock Carts you see tearing up Boone Speedway every week. Whether you need a custom railing, a commercial build, or race-ready metalwork, trust the team at Logue Fabrication to get it done right. Logue Fabrication, where craftsmanship meets horsepower. We can help you stand out anywhere with P1 Promotions, the home of P1P Canopy. From the racetrack to the ball fields to trade shows and beyond, our custom pop-up canopies are built to showcase your brand in style, with multiple sizes and full customization available. But we don't stop there. P1 Promotions also delivers custom rugs, apparel, sportswear, trade show setups, and even P1P custom awards that make an impact. You can see all we have to offer at www.p1pcanopy.com. Welcome back, race fans. And to watermelons and wood chips, I'm stumbling there. It's
presented by.
Yeah, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, our friends over there in Ames. And one thing that Jed did tell me was that you guys were possibly working on a chassis for a pulling truck. Is that true, or are we letting the cat out of the bag here? Or?
I can't disclose that information due to
contractual obligations.
Yeah, contract obligations to the series and whatnot.
Are we prairie dogging some information there?
No, I got it tucked tight.
Good deal.
I'm tucked tight.
Well, on that note, there's a lot of comments and a lot of engagement on our page, which has been super, super cool. Like I said, that the one that spurred the conversation of, have you purposely taken people out? I mean, my phone's still going off right now as we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. People are still adding comments to it, but and our system admin over here, he's done a good job at combing through some of the stuff. We got 2 pages of comments, but people engaging. We do appreciate that. That helps us obviously keep creating content and gives us something else to talk about, and it helps push our page in front of other people organically. So, and one thing that we are so thankful for is you guys actually wanting to listen to our dumbasses. So it's kind of fun.
100%.
Right. Just going through some of these comments, and I always overlook the YouTube one, so I'm glad that you had looked. But the one that I really like, this Big Time Bushy says, I just realized the Bobcat sounds like Chris Farley.
I mean, it'd be cool if I had like his money and shit. Like, that'd be cool. But
it's an honor. Chris Farley's a stud.
I do love all his movies. They were so fire.
I could see Jonathan dress. That's the next year. You got to dress up as the guy, Matt Foley,
right. Fat guy in a little coat too. You can always
being down by the river. Another one. Hey, you got another compliment. Heath Tolp says, honestly, never met Jonathan, but love to get to know you and love your show. Mm-hmm. So
we've raced together. The old Tolp up there, Hancock County, regular there in the old 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've met his sponsor, Smoking Whips Barbecue, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know Heath, but yeah, appreciate that, Heath.
Yeah,
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
You got McCumb Lips, bringing back Racing Rascals to the Boone Speedway.
Yeah,
I think we've talked about some cool things.
We did have some candy tosses and bike giveaways and stuff, and Vision Bank jumped on board and
Cody's an expert at putting bikes together now, so I think we're gonna have another one.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna put a GoPro on him, just do a time lapse of him putting them together.
Jesus, yeah, that. I remember and Kenny Pink, he helped us. He worked for the manufacturer that. So he stopped by, helped me put some of those together. But man, we ended up putting together 25 or 30 of those bikes.
It's a lot, and those kids loved them.
Yeah, and finally, we had to go. I had to go to a baseball tournament and then come back, and it was a whole day worth. But we intend on having more of the Racing Rascals stuff. I hopefully talk to Amy at Vision Bank again, get them back on board to help support that, because it was really cool that they helped. They helped pay for some of the bikes and some of the candy toss stuff. It was awesome. So
we had there was, I think it's Budget Slides is the name. Why do we have to wait so long for the 2026 rules? Those are probably coming out here pretty quick. Usually Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I talked to Carson this week, and he said that they were on like day 3 of Zoom calls.
Okay.
Well, listeners out there, to take into consideration what it takes to try for these guys to try to change a rule or implement a new rule. Mm-hmm. We dictate that. The racers dictate those rules. A lot of those rules, not even intentionally knowing that they are, but I'll just touch on this. I'm pissed off at all the people out there building these bodies for these stock cars, and now we're going to get slapped on the hand. Mm-hmm. Not even slapped on the hand. I don't think it's a slap on the hand. It's just a matter of quit making them look like late models or doing, you know what I mean? I mean, and everybody gets pissed off at the tech official that gives them a hard time about it, because my look on a body, it could be different than your guys' look. Mm-hmm. So take that into consideration. Quit beating up our track officials, because we are the ones that are kind of in a roundabout way making them say, okay, guys, you've pushed the limit here. Now this is what we got to do.
We got to straighten it back out.
Because the people that work at racetracks are regular people that have other jobs. These racetracks that aren't their full-time jobs, and a lot of them do it for peanuts or volunteer to do it. And so I've been guilty of it. You get down there and you're pissed off over a rule. Now, unless it's like Kurt Niehaus, who's been around forever, Dave, or, you know, there are some people that have been around that travel around to big shows. Not that you should be an asshole to them, but I do give them a little bit more of a hard time when they're giving me shit about something, as far as like rebuttaling and asking why, when did this happen, blah, 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 blah. And all those people that I named are really good about explaining what's going on. And most of the time, unless they've given you a fix-it ticket, you get a fix-it ticket. And then, you know, everybody comes up with an excuse. And then the next time, well, then it turns into they're an asshole on social media because the third time they DQ'd you, they've warned you, blah, 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 blah. Those rules affect a lot of people in our sanction.
Yep.
So give them time. You got to give them time. No different than they give us time to fix our stuff.
Right.
Prepare for the race season, blah, blah, blah. This is their time that they're preparing for licenses, rules, you know, events. So it's not like they're just sitting there in stagnant, not doing anything. I guarantee you, Dave and all of his people, think about how many racetrack and tech officials that they got to get input from in different areas of the United States to accommodate all of the racers.
And it definitely is something when they come out, usually within a week or so, I try to read through every one of them, because there's going to be a point in time where we're going to have a DQ or we're going to have something come up, and I'm going to have to deal with it. And I would rather, I put eyes on that. It's here. Luckily, IMCA, they give us a nice PDF, very easily searchable. So when we do have one come up, I can just you know, look it up quick. But I still read through all of them.
Well, and two, what's really cool, like, if you don't get Dave's newsletter, he talks about in there, like when he's going to go to a show or something, or Super Nationals, like he puts in there what they're looking for, what they're going to do. Because we used to do a pre-tech at Super Nationals.
Yep.
A lot. That's a lot. Yep. With everything that's going on and come up with. That's a tough one to do. And it also puts a ton of, you know, pressure on the tech official guys and everything. So when he puts it in that news bulletin and he says that he's going to do that, that's what he does.
Yep. Have her
I've experienced it with him.
Have her legal when she gets to the infield.
Exactly. And so racers out there, you know, like I said, we all push the gray area. We all get it. But these people do care about it just as much as we do. And they, like last year, all the new rules, I believe, were highlighted in red.
I think most of the time they are. Anything that's added or changed or whatever, everything
or underlined,
underlined, or
either
in
one.
red, or So you can tell like everything's the same except for this.
Yep, which is a big thing, because then you're not reading through everything. But you know what? A nice little
surprise,
right? And a nice little refresher though too is good, because there's sometimes I'm like, oh shit, that's been illegal all year. You know, like, well, we better fix that.
Yeah, you don't want to fix it on Wednesday night or Thursday morning after a guy made the show, got DQ'd. We've seen it,
right?
Obviously,
right. So budget slides on that. You know, you can buy your stuff. I mean, I feel like you're not waiting to buy it, purchase something. There's not going to. I feel like there's going to be minimal rule changes. I think there might be a little revising to some stuff. I don't know that. I don't have a source. Sorry, Brett, if anybody interpreted it that way. But that's how I feel. I feel like there wasn't a lot of bullshit.
No, I think you're right. I think it'll be pretty status quo, other than just some fine tuning.
Right. Well, and the people bitching about the stock car bodies and not being able to build them or whatever, blah blah blah. You've had a year, you know. there's a lot of resources out there to be able to accomplish the same thing.
Yep.
So I'm kind of glad that they're doing that, because there's so many different nose pieces and this and that's and blah, 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 which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I guess they always say there's nothing stuck about a stuck car.
You got that right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So,
what movie did that come from?
couldn't tell you. I've just heard a lot of people.
I think it was Days of Thunder.
Was it Days of Thunder?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shit.
There's nothing
It's been
stopping
a while
about
since I've watched Harry and Cole.
What do you mean? That was like a daily occurrence for Jonathan and I
dude.
when we were in 7th, 8th grade.
Right.
It was either Days of Thunder or Days of Thunder after school.
Black Sheep,
Yeah.
Tommy Boy.
Sprint Cars. Oh,
And
wait.
yeah,
Chris Farley?
World of Outlaws Sprint Cars 2002.
Yep.
The amount of time spent on that game.
Well, we got a couple. We got Cam Gruber. I gotta give Cam a shout out. He said just call it the Watermelons and Woodchips podcast
We
curse.
did fuck him up, didn't we?
We did. He was hammering, and boy, we mentioned him, and down the toilet he went. So sorry about that, Cam.
Sorry, Bullet.
Let's turn that around for next year. Let's maybe we'll make it a positive. And then right underneath Cam there, Britt Stormer. Have you ever heard that name, Jonathan? Do you know who that is?
Yeah. I know
Okay.
exactly who that is. It's my sister. Not a lot of people know I have a sister, but I do.
She said something pretty nice about you there. I don't know if you see
bless
that.
her.
Yeah, I couldn't decide which clip to share because they're all too great. Proud sister. However, I'm not sure how Jonathan can't spell worth a shit, but is truly one of the best on the mic and on the camera and on the spot.
Boy, she must want something built.
She needs a new hand railing at
the old cheese shop.
Yeah, at the letter eats.
Well, the
There
old
you
letter
go.
eats B over there. B inspired letter eats B. Letters by B. My sister. Hook you up with them.
No free shout outs, Britt.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to give her the free shout out because of how all the kind words, but I think that it's actually probably leading up to this. She might need something done.
Well, thanks, Britt.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for commenting. Like Cody said, thanks for liking, subscribing, following, all of it. We're doing it for fun, for ourselves and all that, but we do seem to have a lot of people reaching out saying they enjoy it. So we enjoy your comments.
It's awesome. But like the engagement is what keeps us going for sure. And, like I've told you guys, wrestling tournament this weekend, walking up to weigh-ins, this little kid walks up and was like, Marshalltown had 6 or 7 rainouts. And I'm like, gotta be shitting me right now. And this guy, his dad walks up and he's like, he asked if that was the Watermelon podcast guy. I'm like, we're at a wrestling tournament in Cedar Falls. So
That's awesome.
it was pretty cool. So, and I know you said people are calling and texting or people seeing you and asking about the show. So we do appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, I've never really been a podcaster guy, listening to it. But it's actually, I do listen to podcasts now because of what's going on here, So the other thing is, too, is the questions, the responses that you guys are giving on our social media stuff and our platforms is absolutely wonderful. All the old pictures and shit that you guys are sending in. I mean, it's like, I keep saying nostalgic. I've heard myself say that multiple times in multiple shows, but that's what it is. And it's like, it's such a happy place for me because my childhood, doing this my entire life. And I don't know, man, it's cool. It's cool to come on here. If there's somebody that, you guys want to see on the show, like,
Yes.
please post that. That'll be this. How about this week's Facebook release or whatever Cody does with all that shit? I don't really know. They send me all the stuff. I have no idea what it means. I just know that they all say that it's good, so I go along with that. But we're gonna try to.
That's 100% accurate too, by the way.
110.
Well, I'm just here. Be here when I need to be here. On most of the time, I'm on time. But this week's question, or for all you listeners out there, Who do you want to see on the show? Nobody say Velvet Lips or Logan, because those are in. Logan's going to be sooner than Jerry, but at some point we're going to have those two clowns on here. But maybe a race car driver or a track official or a promoter from another racetrack, or if there is a promoter out there listening to this that promotes a racetrack, comment on Cody's Facebook post. I don't know when he'll release it because this just came off the top of the brain, but when he does that, get on there, people, and give us something.
And I've got one last question. Johnny Forklift. That's Colton's code name now because he really liked that when I said that.
Johnny Forklift.
I said something about Johnny Forklift getting on our channel on the Receivers, and I said if Johnny Forklift could get on there, Colton thought that was hilarious. So Johnny Forklift wants to know if you had a suitcase full of unmarked, non-sequential bills and could make only one upgrade to the facility at Boone Speedway, what would it be? What would you spend it on? Now, we don't have to answer it right now. We can sit on this and then answer it next week. We can have people answer that, out in the social universe. But right off the top of your head, what would you do?
Man, there's a lot of things, but we talked about that. Lights. I think try to get some new lights.
Like a Knoxville style
LED, like the Muscos with the
ass kicker.
Yeah, that would be one.
I could go
obviously
with that.
I can, as I'm saying it, the dump trucks are driving past us. I'd say, 200 loads of dirt, which is happening, and a freaking backstretch bar, man.
I was just gonna say my go-to on this is being what it is today. I would be updating the backstretch VIP. I mean, I'm talking like a deck that goes over the entire stage area.
Yep.
Okay, now this whole rebuild in my brain is new concession stand that leads up to a bar on the backstretch. We can sell those tickets. During Super Nationals, heated, air conditioned. I think that brings in new people to the racetrack. It also opens up a new avenue of revenue for the racetrack because you're now adding a bar that's inside. And if it's raining, we have cover. Like, we can sit underneath there while it rains or sprinkles during Super Nationals and shit. Mm-hmm. And I think that it would just be absolutely super cool. So, I mean, we're talking like, if you're talking like $1 million, I'm talking like,
we're going gangbusters.
We're going catwalk. Like, there's one main road in the pit area that we all drive down, and then we turn in front of the concession stand area. So I'm thinking from there, we just make a big square that's all tunneled. Mm-hmm. And then you got the whole front's all glass. Yeah. And we serve like salted pretzels and cheese.
Salted nachos.
Oh, nachos are already there. Oh, like we need pretzels. Okay, salted pretzels.
All right,
that'd be good.
That might actually be something we can do anyway without $1 million bar.
Well, right. But you know what I'm saying. I'm saying like it'd be like, you know what I mean. Like you.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
That would be my briefcase money thing.
We can expand on that next week.
Right. I gotta go to wrestling practice.
It's time for Cody to go to work.
Right. I gotta go mold young minds into a mediocre middle school wrestling team.
Make sure you turn the heat up in there.
Yeah,
when you get there.
They need to do that because they don't even get me started because the janitor's got to run the thing. We don't even have a thermostat in our room anymore, and they use the wrestling room for PE, and so they can't turn the heat up. So then when we get in there, the mats are hard as shit.
Get out the kerosene heaters. Get the boys toughened up.
Yeah. So anyway, another great episode, fellas. On that note, we do want to, like I said, we want to thank Elmquist Towing, Wehrs Machine, and Central Iowa Diesel Performance for jumping on board, and hopefully continue the partnership with us going down the road. And
thanks, guys.
We do appreciate that. And thank you to all the listeners for continuing to put up with our shit and listen to us. We sincerely appreciate it. Guy to my left is Jonathan Lowe. Guy to my right is Josh Reynolds. I'm Cody Malakote. and presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. You have been listening to Watermelons and Wood Chips. We will see you guys next week. Thank you.